Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Under the Surface, the only show that uncovers the shady behind the scenes on organizations that, on the surface, seem to be conducting safe, GMP compliant practices. I am your host, Harold Johnson, and today we have a very special guest with us. Audience, please join me in a round of applause to welcome Dr. Dinesh Thakur. Dr. Thakur has a doctorate in chemical engineering that he received from the prestigious Monash University in 1992 and was hired in 2003 at Ranbaxy Laboratories. In 2007, he was pivotal in informing the FDA of the significant malpractice occurring at the company, and his brave act allowed an investigation to occur, resulting in the company being hit with a massive $500 million lawsuit. But that's enough from me. Dr. Thakur, it's so lovely to have you here.
Likewise, Harold. I'm still quite stunned at being interviewed on live television. Anyway, what would you like to know about the incident?
I've prepared some questions here. Let me just get my notepad out. All right, first question. Can you tell us a little bit about Ranbaxy Laboratories, what they're known for and what they were producing?
Certainly. Ranbaxy Laboratories was a pharmaceutical manufacturing giant that was mainly known for manufacturing cholesterol lowering, acne treatment, and neuropathic pain/seizure medication, which they sold in both the Indian and US market. The drugs were sold under the brand names atorvastatin, Sotret, and gabapentin. The audience may recognize the medication brand names from the ones that are sold in Australia, which are Lipitor, Accutane, and Neurontin. Ranbaxy was founded in 1961 and was acquired by Sun Pharmaceuticals in 2014 following the lawsuit.
Now, can you tell us more about the actual situation that occurred and the events that led up to the lawsuit?
Certainly. So first, they falsified drug stability data. This matters because stability testing ensures drugs work for the duration of their shelf life. Instead of doing real-time testing over 12 to 24 months, they created magic time point data, inputting made-up numbers that made the drugs look stable. Secondly, they fabricated bioequivalent studies, essentially meaning they faked pharmacokinetic data, such as the Cmax, which is the max concentration of drug in body at a specific time. This was dangerous malpractice, as patients may not get the right dose or therapeutic effect. Thirdly, Ranbaxy was using batches of drugs that have failed purity tests for solvents, heavy metals, and microbial contamination, but were still being used in production. They then underwent data manipulation to essentially fudge the results to make it look as though the medication was ready to enter the US market. Finally, Ranbaxy was found to have inadequate facility conditions. The FDA inspection revealed cross-contaminated equipment, incomplete cleaning protocols, and inadequate environmental monitoring of supposed sterile areas.
Wow, that was a lot of info, but so important, especially when a company is meant to be trusted in handling substances that can mean life or death. I have one more question for you, Dr. Thakur. What are some things that could have helped prevent this kind of situation from occurring, and how would you implement that strategy for not just Ranbaxy, but all pharmaceutical companies?
Great question. I think a quality assurance board that is more thorough than the FDA and WHO would be ideal. Don't get me wrong, the policies and procedures set up by the FDA and WHO are quite good. However, I think a sort of sub-team should be implemented to take on more responsibility and help undergo QA and education of QA procedures, especially in the Indo-Pacific, to help stop these kinds of situations from occurring. I recently read up on the TGA in Australia, and I didn't realize how stringent they are compared to the FDA and WHO. Maybe a TGA-linked department could help take the load off the TGA while helping out our neighbors and educating them. Maybe even implementing an accreditation program to help them meet a certain standard to make sure the facilities and procedures are top-notch.
That sounds like a great strategy. I'm sure it would take a while and a lot of international relations to set up, but would overall be extremely beneficial. Thank you for your time, Dr. Thakur. I think you've really helped me and the people at home understand a bit more on the kind of situations that can occur, even in highly profitable pharmaceutical giants like Ranbaxy. It's good to know that even those at the top can't get away with exploiting consumers who need their potentially life-altering medication.
No, thank you for the opportunity to talk about this situation, as it is just one case study of a situation that has most likely happened not just in India, but all over the world. It's good to bring awareness so that consumers know that companies like this can't get away with undermining their needs.
Powerful, Dr. Thakur. Powerful indeed. And that's all the time we have today, folks. Please join me in giving Dr. Thakur a huge round of applause. Tune in next week where we interview a man who used to work for a company that helped fund none other than Epstein's Island.